What's up, guys? Jade's Corner back here again for another Fantasy Fights video. And before we get into today's video, just gotta mention real quick, about 78.2% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. The number was lower last month, but I haven't really been mentioning it as much lately, so the number has gone back up. So if you guys enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel, and when you do, turn on post notifications so that when a new video like Fantasy Fights pops up on my channel every single week, you never miss a future upload. Now in today's matchup, we have the matchup of the Thunder Kitsune Kira Yukimura versus the full Werecoyote Malia Tate, or Hale, depending on which last name you want to go with. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright, so I've gone over Kira before in a previous video when I did Kira versus the no Kitsune about 2 months ago in February. So I'm not going to go over Kira in this video too much in terms of what her powers and abilities are. You guys should know the gist of it by now. And I'm going to go over Malia in this video because I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're talking about Malia on Fantasy Fights. So basically, Malia has the same powers as a typical were creature in Teen Wolf, although you could argue her powers now are heightened to an even greater degree than she was previously because she now has the full extent of all of her mother's Werecoyote powers. So, yeah, Malia is pretty strong, and I'd argue she's probably the second or third strongest member of Scott's pack aside from Derek and Liam. And that's especially the case in season 6 because she, at that point, like I mentioned before, has the full ability of all of her mother's Werecoyote powers, being able to transform and shift whenever she wants. But prior to when she got her mother's power, she wasn't able to on her own. So you can see there was a clear, huge jump in power and abilities once she stole the rest of her mother's power at the end of season 5. But she, in terms of weaknesses, she has all the standard weaknesses you would find in a were creature associated in Teen Wolf, such as like Wolfsbane, electricity, which is very, very, very detrimental for her in this fight, seeing that Kira is a Thunder Kitsune and her power is based around electricity. And we've seen in Teen Wolf that Kira's electricity, when spiraling out of control, can damn near almost kill even the most powerful werewolves on the entire show, such as Scott McCall when he was carrying Kira out of Icon House and her electricity powers almost killed him. So yeah, very detrimental for this fight. She's also weak to Wolf Lichen, the modified canine distemperament virus, full moons where she loses control, and lunar ellipses, or eclipses in this case, where she loses all of her were creature powers, including her super strength, healing, and supernatural shape-shifting abilities. Now, who do I think would win in this fight? This was a very hard one to decide, to be honest, because I was leaning more so towards Malia's side of things, just because of the power boost she gained at the end of season 5. And I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, wait, so when she got her power boost at the end of season 5, right, she was able to fight on par at least with a few Ghost Riders at a time and slightly incapacitate them, because we all know the Wild Hunt is a force of nature, much like the Oni are, and they can't be stopped no matter how many you take down. So yeah, she was able to fight on par, and I'd even say she had a better showing against a lot of the Wild Hunt than Scott McCall did, and Scott's way stronger than Malia. So yeah, Malia is no joke in terms of physical strength, and I'd argue that she's physically stronger than Kira by a long shot. But where I changed my mind was thinking about Kira in season 5. So you got to remember that this happened in the beginning of season 5. The Dread Doctors, once they took Kira away, they enhanced her powers, and that made Kira an absolute beast because it caused her powers to spiral out of control, and it was the reason why she had to go to the Skinwalkers in the first place, because she couldn't control her Thunder Kitsune side. And here's why I think Kira would win. First of all, she utilizes electricity, which is a huge weakness for most of the were creatures in the series. We've seen that, you know, it could affect werewolves to a slight degree, not too much, because we've never seen it at a full capacity, like when Kira was short-circuiting all of Eichenhaus and shit. So yeah, but I think that Kira, if her Thunder Kitsune spirit was to go out of control, I do think that it would be on full kill mode like it usually is when we saw it on Teen Wolf during season 5. And I think that, you know, Malia would have a hard time dealing with that, even though I think she would be prepared because Malia was there when Kira lost control of her Thunder Kitsune side, so she'd be more prepared for it than other opponents would. So Malia would probably have a way to deal with that, although I think her way of dealing with it would probably be like avoiding Kira's electricity at all costs, because she knows if too much of it affects her, it could kill her. So yeah. Also, I was thinking Kira, in terms of her fighting ability, I would say she has more fighting skill than Malia does, even though Malia is a very good fighter in her own right. And I was thinking, I was like, Kira would probably have the edge over Malia, since we know she could utilize the electricity with her sword too, and she could open cracks underneath, or like literally split open the ground and like trap people. And wherever she sent Theo, she could possibly do the same thing to Malia as well. Although Malia, knowing how agile she was, especially after she got her mother's power, she would probably just jump really high over that shit and then jump over Kira and probably, you know, kick Kira down the hole. But that's a little bit too unrealistic, even though it's a possibility. So yeah, it's very hard to decide who would win this fight. You could argue one or the other would win depending on the situation, but if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to go with Kira on this one, even though I really want to pick Malia. I'm going to have to go with Kira on this, because Kira just has way too many things, especially that electricity, which could be very fatal for Malia if Malia doesn't find a way to deal with it. And especially if Kira loses control in her Werecoyote state, which I mentioned before, Malia will be aware of and will be prepared for. Because the Kira we're talking about in this video is Kira before she went to the Skinwalker, so like season 5 Kira. Malia would be prepared for it, but I think that Kira would be on full kill mode, and this is a fight to the death, and Kira's not going to stop once she's taken over by the spirit, unless Malia is dead. And yeah, so you could argue that one or the other would win. I would say it would be a pretty close fight. I don't say it would be very one-sided. I'd say it'd be pretty even between the two, even though Malia does have an advantage in the strength department. And I think that if Malia transforms into her Werecoyote state, which I didn't even mention she has full control over now, it would be very detrimental for Kira, because Malia would have all the ability to have the maneuverability around Kira in the world. She could just run past her. You know, it would be hard for Kira to land a hit in that form when Malia's transformed. So yeah, it's a very even fight. But I do say that Kira would probably slightly come out on top in this, so that's who I think is winning. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know who you think wins down in the comment section below, Malia Tate or Kira Yukimura. In my opinion, I think that Kira wins this fight, even though it would be very close. This is probably one of the closest fights I've ever done in this series so far, and we're almost on episode 40, which is crazy. So yeah, let me know who you guys think would win. Like I mentioned before, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and analysis, and more fantasy fights videos will be coming out this month. We got Alaric versus Marcel Gerard. We have Fantasy War dropping this month, which is going to be huge. We also have the next Fatal 4-Way dropping at the end of the month. So it's a lot of content coming in the next, like, I would say 2 months or so. And don't forget, live stream tonight. I announced that in the community tab. Going to be talking about my book, True Alpha. It might be delayed. It might not be delayed. Not sure, because I'm a bit lazy right now and I haven't worked on the book in 2 weeks. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on that. And subscribe to the channel if you want more fantasy fights videos like this. If you love Teen Wolf content, Supernatural, Vampire Diaries, the originals, this is the channel for you. So subscribe. Make sure you turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me. I'm Jay's Corner. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity, and I'm out this thing. Deuces.